Rachel and I's opening title sequence to our thriller film opens with the logos of the company that have helped distribute our film, as well as our own animated logo that we created ourselves. The aim of our personal logo was to immediately draw in the audience's attention through the eye-catching colours of red and black. These colours are often associated with the thriller genre, and we chose the name Night Blue Productions as it is appropriate for a company that predominantly produces thriller films. From the combination of these bold colours and the edgy title of our company, the audience can immediately recognise what type of film is about to be shown. The opening shot of our thriller film is a tracking shot. The shot follows the footsteps of a young girl as she runs into the woods. With this opening shot, we aim to create tension as well as set the scene. In this sense, we follow the conventions of a thriller film, as generally a thriller film will open with a shot that entices the audience so they will continue watching. Rachel and I aim to create a sense of realism in our thriller through the use of location and props. Our location was set on a campsite that we constructed ourselves. With the help of a few others, we were able to pitch 2 tents and create a campfire. This helped add to the realism of the scene as well as create an eerie atmosphere. The fact that our scene was set in the middle of the woods at night was slightly unconventional for a thriller film, which is usually set in a home, warehouse, or city. A major convention of thriller films is the creation of suspense. Rachel and I aim to develop this convention through the form of mise-en-scène, camera work, sound, and editing. The mise-en-scène played a large part in our thriller film. We aimed to create an eerie atmosphere through the use of the natural light of the campfire and red headlights, which acted as moonlight. We also adopted the style of film noir lighting by creating a silhouette as the antagonist approached the children's tent. Additionally, we used our location to our advantage by using the trees and branches to conceal the antagonist before she approaches. This helped create suspense and build up tension, thus adding to the drama of the film as well as intriguing the audience. In addition to this, the sound played a major part in producing our thriller. It's a difficult aspect of filmmaking to master. We used a creepy rendition of the children's song Brahms' Lullaby. This helped intensify the atmosphere by adding to the eeriness of the scene as the music was parallel to the visuals on screen of the children going to bed. This creates tension as it relates to the thought that young children feel when they are scared before going to bed. The normally light-hearted cheery tune was transformed into a darker, more haunting sound, thus helping to build up the suspense that is so often present in thriller films. Suspense was also developed through the use of camera work and editing. We employed shots with various distances such as long shots, close-ups, and even extreme close-ups. The style of editing used is continuity editing, which is what is most frequently used in thriller films. Instead of challenging this convention, we adopted it and ensured we stuck to the 180-degree rule and employed match-on-action, both crucial aspects in achieving continuity editing. We also used an abundance of transitions such as dips to black and cross dissolves, which are often used in thriller films. Through some aspects of the mise-en-scène, Rachel and I followed the conventions of a thriller film, for example, through the use of silhouettes. However, we also challenged the conventions of a thriller film through the use of our location. Another way in which Rachel and I developed the forms and conventions of a thriller film was by using suspenseful, haunting music and adopting the style of continuity editing. A sense of realism was additionally created through the use of our plot. The plot is not a typical plot you would see in a thriller. However, it contains similar themes that run throughout. For example, the idea of using a kidnapper. A sense of realism was created through the narrative, as this is a type of situation that is very possible to occur. Even though the situation is uncommon, there have been events in the past similar to what has occurred in our own thriller. In the opening title sequence to our thriller film, Rachel and I challenged the conventions of a thriller, as typically, in the majority of thrillers, the victims are played by adults. However, in our thriller, the main subjects of focus are played by young children. In my opinion, I find children as objects of focus in thriller films more frightening than adults. We also challenged the conventions of a thriller through the way that the children were taken to be murdered. The antagonist uses chloroform to ensure the children fall unconscious. This is rather uncommon in thrillers and has only been used a handful of times. Even then, it has only been used by men. We thought this would be a more effective way of portraying the antagonist as a woman, as she would not just punch her victims unconscious. To a further extent, my media product challenges the forms and conventions of real media products, as generally in the thriller genre, the antagonist is played by a male. However, in our thriller, Rachel and I decided to challenge a slightly cliché convention by getting a female actress to play our antagonist. To conclude, I believe that to some extent, Rachel and I did challenge the forms and conventions of a thriller. This was evident through the use of our narrative, characters, and location. However, we did also develop many of the forms and conventions of a thriller, for example through the use of music, lighting, and the way in which we built up suspense.